Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, sitting here with Mr. Steven Eckert because a while ago I asked you guys to submit your raw files for raw edits of the week. Now we're gonna do some raw editing of some of the best ones that we pulled down. We edited it down and it took a while. Now it wasn't easy, but we've got Lightroom queued up right here. We've got FroPack 1, which are our 14 custom presets already loaded, because we're gonna show you how we utilize these presets to edit your images. Now that's the cool thing, is that you guys submitted these images. It's not all our photos that we're showing you that these presets work on. It's a ton of different cameras. It's a ton of different subjects, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this all works. But before we go in too far, I do wanna say that we are selling presets. You can go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets. Right now they are 40% off. So if you make a purchase before November 12th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're gonna get entered into a contest to win a $1,000 prize pack, which includes a couple of think tank bags, all of my video guides, and a couple of other goodies. So go ahead and take advantage of that. If you've already made a purchase, you are already entered. So we're gonna run through these files. We've got a bunch of questions from you guys.
A lot of questions.
And we're also gonna see what these presets do. So let's get to editing your raw files. Steven, first file right here.
First up, this one I feel like works on a majority of the presets that we did.
Was that a gondola?
Yeah, for example, acid wash. This one's gonna give you more of a blue undertone, teal look, especially in the skies and the water. We've got acid wash, no white balance. So what this does is it will actually zero out the white balance, give you a normal white balance that you shot with, and it won't set it to that normal like 4400K value. Aquamarine, this one works as well, a little more on the teal end. Same with no white balance if you don't want that locked in. You've got your black and white boomify. This works too. A lot of them work really well with this photo.
What's interesting is that on some of the photos that you see and some of the photos that you have for yourself, the presets will work on a lot of them. And then on some of the others, you're like, only one preset works. But the whole point with these presets is to give you a great starting point and to save yourself a lot of time. So people have been asking me, I got this question right here and it says, are they your presets in terms of you using them yourself, or in terms of creating them?
Your presets?
Well, yeah, I think that was more like, are you doing this yourself? No, the answer is yes, we created these presets. Now, some of them I've been taking years. It didn't actually take me years to make them. It's just my style since college with my black and white boomify has been bottled up into black and white boomify and also color boomify. And then Steven went ahead and created a ton of other presets, and that's why we're gonna run through them. But no, they are presets that we created, and we're actually using them to save ourselves a ton of time when we're editing our images. I mean, you were saying that you shot concerts recently.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm using all my own presets.
My specific favorite ones are the Acid Wash and Waffle House preset. And I love the names that we came up with as well. But for this image specifically, Sandlot, I think, does wonders. Now, I would probably bring up the shadows a little bit and still adjust it a little bit. But right off the bat, that looks great. It's got that like rustic, old school slide look.
To me, it looks like the 1940s, 1950s early color, where they didn't have the process down yet. But what's cool about the presets is that they give you an awesome starting point. And they're not the end point. They're not always the end point. You can jump around and make tweaks from these presets and then resave them as your own, which we should probably explain how you import presets for anybody.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, let's just show people. Guys, super easy to import presets. Check this out. In the Develop module, right by presets, there's a plus button. You hit the plus button, import presets, and wherever you've downloaded our presets to, you just highlight them all, you hit import, reset the program, open it back up, and you're good to go. It's so much easier than the old school way of doing it.
We're not going to import them right now just because we already obviously have them loaded.
Yeah.
But the old school way is you had to manually go in, import the presets in the folders in Finder or wherever you're at. Now it's one click, done. Awesome.
So I love how this photo looks.
Same.
Just once you get the clicks in there.
So here's Sandlot applied, and then this is reset. So I mean, that's a different look that you get from this image, a totally different look, a totally different vibe. Now, next up, this is one of my favorites to actually check out. There's a lot of presets that work with this specific image.
Eric Jan, I'm gonna call him Jan,
Eric
Jan.
Jan.
Yeah, you guys submitted these, so this one is pretty crazy. Go ahead, run through some of these.
So some of them, for example, acid wash, we'll start from the top. Look at the difference in the colors of the leaves and the sky. I mean, that's a drastic difference if you're going more for a fall look or something like that. Then we have aquamarine. Now notice the water is gonna bring out more of that teal look, which is really unique. We also have one of my favorites on this image, Waffle House, which looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Notice again, that sky is gonna turn drastically different, but Sandlot on this one. Again, I come to this one more time. That one, and if you come in here, say you wanna just adjust those shadows a little bit, you're now in like the dead of winter or fall.
Talk about how long it took you to create some of these presets.
So I would say Sandlot was probably the hardest one to come up with. There's a lot of things that I'll do in the, mainly in the split toning panel, in the calibration panel, and also the tone curve.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking, like, is it just something real simple, just changing contrast and changing shadows to make a preset? And the answer is, unless it's my own, then no. There's a lot more that goes into changing it. Steven has tweaked and literally spent hours making some of these presets. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are like, you've been anti-preset, Jared. And yeah, I was anti-preset for a long time until I made my own damn Boomify, black and white, and color Boomify, and then started to use it myself. And then I was like, I'm an idiot.
How handy they are.
Well,
yeah.
I'm like, well, I might as well, I always go back to this. I always go back to my two styles. And it doesn't mean that my photo ends that way, because it's not everything needs to be boomified. But I sit there and I'm like, this just saved me so much time in tweaking, and it's my style.
Yep. And I do want to say I tested them on a lot of different cameras. For example, this one was shot with a Nikon D7200, but we tested everything from old school Canon cameras with Rebels and 1DX Mark IIs, the 20D. We did Sony cameras. We did just about Fuji cameras. Every camera that there really is on the market today and yesteryear, past 10 years or so.
Another thing to say, though, is that if your exposure is super off, that's where you have to go in and tweak after the fact. And I'm not somebody who gets my exposure perfect every single time. So there's times where I hit the preset and we zero out the exposure in the preset, because for most of them, because we can't know where your exposure is going to be. So if you see that your image is too bright or too dark, hit the preset, then go in there and just tweak the exposure, because it's not perfect every single time. It's gonna give you a great starting point, and then you can go from there.
I do want to bring up one more preset with this specific image. Faded Glory I thought looks really interesting. What I would probably do is then bring up the shadows and blacks a little more, but you're getting that faded, muted look, which some people prefer, and some people like you prefer contrast. So it all depends what look you're going for.
But what I've seen, though, in some of them, like we've got Kensington, which we're gonna go over shortly, the name there. You guys wanna know naming. Well, we actually are in Kensington right now, in a part of Philadelphia. And also, I was in Kensington a couple of months ago in London, so that was a pretty cool muted look. But the interesting thing is, after seeing what Steven created and running my images through some of his presets, I'm like, this looks good, but it doesn't match my personal style, because sometimes, I'm more contrasty, but that doesn't mean that I won't use those presets to put out on Instagram, because I think that it may look better than my Boomify sometimes.
Now, what's really nice too is that you could take the preset that we made and then create a new preset based on that preset. If you want to adjust your contrast, to 1,000 like you like to do half the time. It all depends what look you're going for, what type of style you have.
So let me reiterate again, if you would like to purchase FroPack 1, go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets. They're currently on sale. And I will say that by purchasing these, you help us continue to create the free content that we do. It would become a lot more difficult if we didn't sell something. We don't want to just rely on sponsors and advertisers. We love the fact that you guys are out there, and if you want to make a purchase, you can do that, and that helps us continue to make this free content that we put out there with the real world reviews and everything else. And look, if you can't make a purchase now, don't worry, they'll still be available in the future, and you could just give us a share. You could thank us that way by giving us a share. So let's move on to the next one.
Let's do it. So the next one's interesting because it's a JPEG image.
Which is a major question we get. Do these work on JPEGs?
Some do, some don't, but a majority of them are based off the Adobe color profile. So a lot of them won't work with JPEGs specifically. They'll only work with raw images. Now, as you notice on the side, some will still work, like your Color Boomify, Cookies and Cream, Kensington, Sandlot, Waffle House, because they're based on a different color profile, a different starting point. But again, JPEGs won't support the Adobe color profile, so we have to use that in a raw file.
Yeah, and we attempted to make some changes and some tweaks to that, but it changed up the way that the presets were working, and we didn't want to, look, I shoot raw, and most of you guys out there do shoot raw, and we didn't want to compromise the quality of the presets that we built for the raw conversion to just appease the JPEG every once in a while. Some of them do work, so you can use those, but in other cases, I would have loved to have seen this raw file to run it through a bunch of different ones, because it actually looks pretty good when it does it.
Yeah.
But just know that if you do purchase these and you only see 8 of the presets show up, that's probably because you're on a JPEG.
Now also, this will work in Adobe Camera Raw, in Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe Lightroom CC and Classic CC.
Yes.
But again, raw files only. Just want to reiterate that.
Let's get to the next one.
Next one.
Yes. See, oh man, can you black and white boomify this one for me?
Yeah, you ready? Oof.
Just look what it does. Give me the before, give me the...
Look at that.
Look how crunchy that one is.
That is crunchy. So we got before and after.
This is my style of editing, and in one click, because I got the exposure right on this one, the black and whites pop so much. Just the way that the skin tones look and the way that the contrast looks. I've found that my black and white boomify works very well in concert situations, in high contrasty situations. It doesn't work for everything because sometimes it's just too boomified, but in a lot of situations, it looks really good, or you could just go in and pull back on the contrast. If you ever need to do that, you can go in and do that. But man, I love the way that this one looks, Steven.
This one looks great with black and white boomify, it really does. So this one specifically, I preferred Waffle House on this one.
Yeah.
Waffle House is one of my favorite presets that I created. This one will just give such a vintage feel to it, a rustic vibe to it, and I really like how it, now there is also a vignette on this one. I like vignettes a lot. I know people don't, so I gave you a no vignette option as well if you just want to apply the no vignette.
What's interesting about this particular, so I shot these at an old factory, and when I saw Steven's preset for this one, I got angry with myself because I loved how the processing looked. It looked vintage. It looked exactly like what the scene was in front of me. And so this is one of those cases where I would use this preset over any of my own regular editing because I just love how this one looks.
All right, so let's do this next one. Now this one, we realize it works on almost every single preset, which I really love. For example, Acid Wash, that's how it looks.
Well, Ricky Zasto sent this one in.
Yes.
Dude, when we were going through this, I was like, oh my God, this works on almost every preset.
Almost every single preset as we're going. Color Boomify looks great on that.
Oh, I made that one.
It looks great,
I spent many years on that one.
So notice the difference between Faded Glory and Color Boomify. I mean, that is a very different look. Again, if you're more into the contrast, high contrast scenes, or if you're into more of a muted look. All depends what your style is. Kensington, you're gonna get some grain if you do want that. Or if you don't want any grain, you can do no grain. I know people don't love it.
I personally don't like grain added to images, and in this case, Steven gave us both options, with grain and without grain. And if you do already own the FroPack one, you can share images on Instagram. We're gonna track the hashtag FroPack1. So if you do upload an image that you used using one of these presets, upload it to Instagram, use the hashtag FroPack1, and also you could put in there what preset you used, and we'll be taking a look and commenting on some of your stuff.
So let's go through the rest of these on this specific image. Ovaltine gives you more of a brown muted look, a lot of brown midtones. Sandlot, now this is rough on skin a lot of the times, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, obviously it doesn't work that well.
Yeah, it doesn't work on that one.
Silvertide, you're gonna get that metallic silver look if you're looking for that. That works more on like textured items, concrete, stuff like that. Skittles, notice how much that pops.
I can't believe that Skittles worked really well on that
Works really well. Universal Soldier is going to be a general processed raw file. Waffle House, again, you can do no vignette or vignette. I prefer the vignette in this one.
Let me see without.
So without?
No, I like the vignette in this one as well.
I like the vignette as well. And then Wonder Years, again, specific images it'll work on. This one, not the case.
Should I talk about how we got the names?
Yeah, let's do it.
So names, guys. we like going through the names and trying to figure it out. Basically what we do is Steven would call me in, I'd look at it, and he's explaining to me what it means, and I'm like...
I'm explaining like what colors there are involved.
I'm like, on Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, acid wash. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Ovaltine. Ovaltine took a minute because we were throwing a bunch of different things out there for brown stuff, but I'm like, Ovaltine.
Brown stuff.
Well, you know, it was Ovaltine's brown.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how the names we came up with the names.
Next up, this one also works well on a lot of the images. We'll just power through this one. I just want to hover over some of these. Again, look at the difference between the before and after. And you can apply these, and then now, wow, look at the greens and the blues. So notice the greens pop on aquamarine, but then in acid wash, those greens are turning to blues.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. It all depends what your style is. Again, black and white boomify, color boomify, cookies and cream. It just goes on and on. Faded Glory I really like on this one.
So the crazy thing is, you created these faded ones, and you know me, I generally like more contrast.
Yep.
But sometimes with these, I'm just like, damn it, I like that more than contrast.
Now I'm gonna say again, I really like Sandlot on this specific image, like street photography. I think it works wonders. It really gives it that old school vibe.
Yeah, I was surprised because it has an interesting color scheme to it.
It does.
And it works on some, and like we said, they all don't work on everything, but they do give you a great starting point.
Sandlot is specifically heavy in the split toned area, so you're gonna get a lot of colors changing, just know that.
Can we do something real quick?
Yeah.
If somebody made a massive change to an edit, or to a preset, but it's pretty similar, let's just show what you do. You don't have to make a change, but...
Let's just say, for example, Sandlot, you like it on this image, but you notice, okay, let's bring up the shadows a little bit. You want to save it as a new preset is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So let's bring up these shadows just a hair, and say you like it around here. All right, now let's resave this as a new preset, Sandlot plus shadows, for example. So we're going to go to the plus up here, create preset, check it all, and then we're going to name this Sandlot plus shadows. And all you have to do is tell it where you want that to be saved, and then hit create. That's gonna then go up in your preset pack. I'm not gonna create it now because we have plenty that we're already gonna use, but
yeah,
it's a great option if you know that you just want a little more shadow recovery in some of those images.
So that's really easy to create your own. The reason we did that is so that you don't overwrite the presets that we made, but you can then tweak them and then come back to them really easy by creating a preset just like that.
And remember, you can also go and hit new group, and you can create your own folder of like updated presets, and then that will show up in that left-hand side panel in the develop module in a new folder, which is really nice to have.
What's next?
Next up, we got
Squirrel!
Oh, this is Jared right here.
I haven't done squirrel
Jared
in a long
nutshell. So this one I wanted to run through a lot of them because it gives you different looks in terms of like seasons. It might look like a summer vibe, it might look like a winter vibe. It depends how it's gonna turn these greens and browns in the image. So it's gonna be heavy on the colors. For example, acid wash, that's gonna turn these greens a little more on the orange yellow side, so it might look more fall in the image. No white balance, for example, is gonna make it a lot more fall.
That's cool.
Look at the difference. I mean, it's a totally drastic difference. Aquamarine, we've got black and white boomify if you want to completely blow out that back end.
Hey, that's what I like to do,
That's
Steven.
what you like to do. Faded Glory is going to make those greens more forest green. That's what it affects a lot. Kensington's going to give you that gritty look, but still high contrast, and Ovaltine. Again, now Sandlot, this is again, if you want to make it like fall looking, you can still adjust the split tone from here if you want, if it's a little too heavy on the browns, and we'll just keep going through these real quick. Skittles, look at the colors.
I know, Skittles looks great on that one.
And Waffle House we'll end with. Looks great.
Can you swipe over to the website real fast?
Let's do it.
I just want to show people, scroll down, just show them that we've got before and afters on the website, so you can go ahead and see them actually happening over on the site. All right, quickly, I mean not quickly, but let's go back to there. I just wanted to butt in there real quick and say that.
So we wanted to incorporate some nightscapes, some city shots, stuff like that. This one was taken with the Sony a7 III. We actually took this in San Francisco.
Yep.
This one I really liked on Waffle House, but I want to show you that, again, it's not one and done for every single image. For example, this is a little more of an underexposed, it's just a hard exposure to adjust for.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Waffle House no vignette here, and I'm going to then adjust this just a hair and bring that up. And that to me is a nice final image. So a lot of the times, hopefully, you'll just be adjusting exposure and shadows and highlight recovery in the basic panel.
Time saving.
Time
saving and great starting points is the whole point of these preset packs.
And again, look at the difference in the colors of the blue, the hue of the blue in the sky and the water. That's a completely different teal look that you're getting with this image.
He-Man?
He-Man.
What did I shoot this one with?
This one-
D3100.
Woof.
So it's a D3100 with I believe a 40mm 2.8 macro.
Yeah.
So again, they work all across the board.
This one we really liked on Sandlot.
Yeah, let's just do Sandlot.
If you want to make that look like it's 1980 all over again.
We couldn't call it Masters of the Universe. So Sandlot's really good with what it does with the greens. Like we said, it works on some things and doesn't work on all, but for this one, it looks banging.
And I think the name Sandlot makes sense because we were going after like that burnt summer look.
The movie.
The movie, and I think that just kind of, it's reminiscent of that movie.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, this one.
Oh my God. When I saw this file, I was like, oh my God. I can't believe that which one did we love for this one?
Waffle House, I think my favorite, but all of them worked for this one.
Let's see.
So let's go from the top real quick. Acid wash. We got acid wash, no white balance. Aquamarine, no white balance. Boomify. Color Boomify looks really nice on that.
Yes, it does. Color Boomify. Thank
Cookies
you.
and cream. Faded Glory I like a lot on there too. Kensington,
See,
Ovaltine.
even Kensington looks good.
Now again,
I have to
Sandlot,
admit,
real
though,
quick, Sandlot does not work well on this one.
I always have to admit that Kensington still looks good, even though it's muted, but still carries a nice contrasty look.
And if you come to Skittles now, this to me looks a little overdone on the orange, the skin tones, so I would probably use this and then bring down the oranges in the color panel. Now, Waffle House is what we really like.
There it is. There it is, Waffle House.
And I would probably come down a little bit on the highlights and shadows, just a hair, but I think that looks really good. Right
Give me the before on this one.
Before on that one is this.
And then hit me with that again.
High contrast Waffle House in your face.
I'm just amazed at how awesome that one looks.
I would probably even bring down the contrast a hair on this one, but yeah, I think this one looks really nice. This was also taken with a Sony a7 III. Now we have a concert photo.
Yeah.
Low light.
I will say it's not the greatest concert photo in the world, but I just wanted to show you guys that, I mean, it's not a bad concert photo, but I want to show what happens when you hit black and white Boomify on a concert shot. Super thick. This is probably one where I would pull the exposure down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, with one click for the concerts, I've found that black and white Boomify looks incredible. Oh, what is that?
That's Waffle House. Look at the drastic difference and look at the blues.
So again, a lot of these presets can work on these images. So.
Well, and I want to bring up that this is ISO 4000 this was shot with, so it does work well with low light photos.
Oh, it does.
Too.
Color, black and white Boomify definitely
Especially
does do that.
black and white Boomify. Next up, this one. We shot this, Germany or
Germany.
Poland?
No, Germany. This is right outside the Kölner Dome.
This to me is one that Wonder Years is just perfect for.
Yeah.
If you're going for that old school vibe, I mean, it actually looks great out of camera, I will say.
That was done with a 5D Mark IV. I'm not even looking at the thing, I'm just recalling. 5D Mark IV and a 51.2. It was your 51.2, wasn't it?
It was my 51.2, yeah.
Yeah.
51.2 that you bought me, actually.
I did. It was a gift.
Birthday present, yeah.
Yeah.
But Wonder Years, again, it's a very specific look if you're going for that.
Man, well, Wonder Year's name comes from, of course, Winnie Cooper.
We were going to call it Winnie Cooper.
We call it Winnie Cooper, but wasn't allowed to call it Winnie Cooper. Okay, let's go to this next one.
Ooh.
This is like a background for a Mac screen.
It does look like a background.
So that was Stav Essel.
This one, I forget, what did we like on this one?
Oh, this is Color Boomify. This is Skittles.
Skittles.
I think it's Skittles. Go to Skittles.
Look
how that just booms right off the rip. And that's with a D3200, by the way.
And this I would probably still bring up the shadows just a hair in post. Waffle House looks pretty solid in there. Sandlot, look at what it does to the trees.
Yeah.
That's a drastic before and after. Wow.
I'm just still amazed at what they can do, just time saving and starting point. Because I know a lot of people are trying to find their voice and find their style, and this can help give you that starting point that you can then tweak from there, but always come back to, and just keep using them. So again, if you'd like to purchase FroPack 1 14 custom Lightroom presets, go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets. They're on sale. And again, if you purchase them before November 12th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are going to be entered to win a FroPack. I'll call it a FroPack. It's 2 camera bags from Think Tank. It's all of my video guides and some other goodies to bring it up to $1,000 in value. And again, thank you guys for all of your support, because without you supporting what we're doing, we wouldn't be able to continue to bring you the free content that we bring. What's next?
Next up, we've got a headshot.
Well, so when I was going through this one, I don't think any of the presets worked except for one.
Which one was that?
This is Ovaltine. I just loved what
wow.
it did
That's
with the
almost
red
like,
hair.
That's pretty much one and done, I'd say.
That, you know, Ovaltine worked perfect on that one. I love that picture. Well, I like her too. So who took this one?
This one is Les
Collier.
Collier.
Company 3 crowd. This was with a 6D.
Two's Company, 3 a crowd.
That's
good.
like 3 blind elephants and a mice or
There you
whatever
go.
it's called.
Hugh Brownstone.
So I went with black and white boomify on this one.
Okay.
Just straight out and left it dark because it has that dark old school feel, like not Ansel Adams-esque, but pretty similar. I don't really think that I want to make any changes to this. I liked how it looked. I like the dark feel.
And I do want to mention, like, look at the difference between Kensington and Boomify. Again, a lot less contrast, more muted.
Kensington?
Boomify is this, Kensington is this. This is no green, by the way.
No green, yeah. So
all depends what you're going
different
for.
looks.
And again, this one is starting right off the bat, underexposed. So
yeah. Again, the exposures are going to be different for every photo. That's why we can't tweak the exposures, but great starting points.
Yeah, we base them all pretty much on perfect exposures for the most part. This one, I think we liked Skittles a lot on.
Oh, well, there's actually a few, but Skittles, hit me with some Skittles. Boom. Okay, some people may not like the fact that this is so over the top. It's a little over the top.
It is a little bit.
You could pull back, but you could do color boomify, which pulls it back a little bit. Universal Soldier, which is your general starting point for your color images, could do something. It's a little more muted.
Definitely.
This would look awesome on a metal print. Awesome on a metal print with the metal shining through with Skittles. I know it's to the extreme, but I kind of like what it did with that one.
And keep in mind, this one did start a little hot. The highlights are pretty much blown in the beginning,
bring
so
them back.
It's going to come up a little on the high end, yeah.
But I love that picture.
Street photography, another one.
Street photography is an interesting one as well. This is the D610.
Yes, D610.
Kensington could be interesting.
Oh,
you know,
Kensington with green, I like a lot.
Yeah, you like grain. Give me without grain.
Without grain.
Also, it just for street photography, I'm still blown away about what you can do.
Sandlot actually looks decent on this. I would probably pull back on the split toning a little bit, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, black and white boomify may work.
Yeah.
So that's my style. Like, people have always asked me, Jared, how do we get your style of editing? And some are like, oh, you just bump your contrast. I do that. I do bump my contrast, but it's the thing that I've done for years. And if you want to get a great starting point that is similar to what I do, black and white boomify is going to get you right there right away.
There you go. Next up, this one.
Oh my God! When I was sitting,
everything.
when you saw the edit that you did on this,
freaked out.
You were like, oh, geez, look at the water.
It looks so good.
Oh my God.
Because I specifically designed a lot of mine to be adjusted with blues and greens because that's in almost every photo.
I think this was down on the lower ones.
Which one?
Which one
Waffle
did I
House?
really love? Oh my God, I love that.
Waffle House, no vignette, and vignette, depends what
I like the vignette on this one.
You like the vignette on this one, yeah.
And I don't know, did Sandlot work on this? Ooh, what's that?
Skittles, Sandlot, again, looking like that old school
pirate ship.
Skittles.
Oh my God, Skittles.
So this is before and after with Skittles. It'll just totally bring out all the color.
Look at the clouds and everything popping in the
Punch
background.
you in the face with vibrancy, for sure.
Punch me in the face with vibrancy.
Kensington.
Kensington works too.
I mean,
is that Faded Glory?
Faded Glory, yeah. To be honest, a lot of these work really well on this one. And notice Acid Wash is really changing those blues.
Yeah.
So, all depends what you're going for. Gonna keep saying that. We have shot with a Nikon D7200. This one we're gonna try, let's do Kensington.
Kensington looks great. Cookies and Cream is another play on a black and white.
Like a sepia tone, a little bit.
And then hit me with some Silvertide too, because if something looks good in Kensington and black and white, and you want to have more of that moon reflection style of edit, Silvertide can work on that too.
I really like Waffle House on this one, and again, I'm gonna hit you with some Sandlot.
And
personally.
Sandlot is an acquired taste sometimes.
For sure.
Sometimes it's super good, and other times you sit there and you're like, okay, that's giving me that 1840s look.
Yeah.
We should have named something. We should have named something Wells Fargo. You know, 1880s.
And then we have this one. I really liked Acid Wash on personally.
So you designed Acid Wash with this image?
I designed it. I designed it specifically for this image, And that's what it does, because I really liked what it did with the greens and the oranges and those kind of tones.
Oranges. We were in an orange grove when we did this.
There you go. And I still like how it preserves her skin tone. And then we have this one. This one I thought Silvertide looked pretty good on, mainly because of the metallic look in the background.
Yeah.
I also think Waffle House looks pretty solid on that. This is Reset, and this is with Waffle House applied.
It does look, it looks pretty good.
And even Color Boomify looks pretty solid on that too.
Yeah, with people, it's gonna vary because you never know skin tones and white balances. And sometimes you just need to tweak that white balance a little bit to get the exact file or the exact edit that you're looking for. This was interesting.
This one.
I think we went with, I think Color Boomify and
color.
Skittles. Like, this was a big one for color. I love the way Color Boomify looks.
Oh wow, look at the difference between Skittles and Color Boomify.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I just think it kind of works. And hit me with black and white Boomify for this. I know it's a little different. Like,
I
for
love that.
street photography,
Looks
it
great.
works.
Street photography, I think black and white Boomify and Kensington all day.
Give me a Kensington, no grain.
Kensington, no grain. Now this, I would probably bring down the exposure just a hair.
Just a little bit on that. So for this one, I don't like the Kensington as much.
And I'd probably even up the contrast a little more. So this is gonna be the difference between Kensington and black and white Boomify. See, notice the contrast difference.
I like Boomify on this one.
Kensington I like because of the texture you're getting from it.
Oh, this was a black and white Boomify. I just wanted to show concerts. Again, exactly what happens when you have a concert situation or a low light situation. Even what ISO are we at here?
This is only 800
Only
actually.
800, but still, black and white Boomify, it just takes it right off the rip.
I definitely thought that was Bono for a second.
That's my style.
And then we have Butterfly. This is with a Nikon D610. This one, I'm just gonna, again, look at acid wash. Look at the difference. It's bringing out orange more in those greens. It's gonna give you a totally different vibe. Let's just go through some of these real quick. Ooh, Color Boomify looks good.
Oh, Color Boomify definitely looks good on those.
Yeah. Faded Glory, again, it's gonna give you more of that forest green look. Ovaltine, more that brown look. Wow.
Nope.
See, that's why, again, Sandlot,
Not on that
not
one.
on every, Skittles, woof.
Yeah, Skittles is a boom of color.
Punch you in the face with color. This one I brought up specifically for the blues in the image. I want to show you guys what a lot of these do with the blues, starting from the top. Again, acid wash, really punching those blues up. Aquamarine's gonna give you more of that teal look. You got black and white Boomify, Cookies and Cream, Faded Glory. I want to run down to Waffle House though, because Waffle House is gonna drastically change the watercolor in this photo and the sky.
Yeah.
More of that teal look,
See,
which
that's
I really like.
That's a really cool, it gets a vintagey vibe to it on that one.
Now this one is a little hot for my taste. I would probably bring it down a little bit in contrast and exposure, and that's probably what I would end up with. But again, it's a starting point and then you adjust from there.
Yeah, it save you a ton of time.
Look at Sandlot. That's so cool. Next up, we've got this old school car photo.
Yeah, this one's underexposed a little bit,
yeah.
but you can put the preset on and then go and tweak your exposure.
So let's try Ovaltine for that. Again, it's gonna really bring out the browns and those midtones. Sandlot just, it gives it a completely different look than Ovaltine. I mean, that's back and forth, look at that.
Yeah. Now, can we move the exposure just a little bit?
Yeah, let's bring up
See
this
what that looks
exposure
like?
just a hair. I would still keep it a little under for sure.
Yeah, because it seems like a dark scene anyway.
Yep.
It's in the car.
But I think
and you
that
don't
looks
want to
really
go
nice.
too far. But no, that's pretty cool. What else we got? Go ahead and hit me with some black and white Boomify. Boom.
Ooh.
And then it was done. And you may say,
One and
Jared,
done.
you may say, oh, but your background's blown out. Okay. And I say, okay, but look at my subject.
He's the subject in
Well,
this
that
photo.
I used to yell at my teachers, and by yell I mean get into conversations that were very nice. Then when they're like, "There's no detail in the background," and I'm like, "Look at the subject. The subject is what matters to me. I don't need to have a gray image."
Now, if this was taken in a studio, you might want to show that environment, but this is just a
different.
random street alley, so.
In London,
In
in
London.
Kensington. Hit me with a Kensington.
Is
no,
it in Kensington?
it's in Kensington. Hit me with a Kensington.
So this is Kensington.
So,
I
see-
would probably come in though and take down these shadows just a hair with Kensington, so you still get that textured look.
The crazy thing is I could live with that. Personally, I love my black and white Boomify, but I could live with what Kensington did to that.
Yeah, so here's Boomify, here's Kensington. Again, depends if you're more the muted person or if you're more that high contrast.
Yeah, one more time, you can go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets to pick it up, 40% off. Let's get to the next photo.
A lot of dynamic range in this photo specifically. You're shooting down an alleyway. What do you want to run through?
Hit me with something near the bottom.
Something near the bottom. Let's do Waffle. Ooh, Waffle House looks pretty solid in this one. Now, notice it really crushes those highlights, so the sky's looking all weird on this one.
Yeah, but run up the list here, because this is one that can work for a lot.
Skittles looks really good. Again,
which is
watch out for
amazing that
sky.
Skittles with the punchy everything. What was that? Oh my God.
Silvertide looks pretty solid.
Silvertide looks good. And was this
Sandlot?
Sandlot again gives you that old school feel.
Ovaltine looks pretty solid too.
Is that Kensington
I
again?
really like, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Kensington turned out to be one that really looks good.
Now again, some of these, like clearly this, he clipped the highlights at the top, so some of them won't look great with that sky. Like
I
Waffle
like
House,
the look of that too.
It's just the clouds are really looking blown out. The highlights are not recoverable at this point.
Okay, so move on to this next headshot, which was a D3300 with a 85-1.8. So again, quality glass put on a camera.
Quality glass. I'm gonna go with Faded Glory on this one. I really like that look. But I will say, this one looks awesome straight out of camera.
Yeah.
This raw file looks incredible.
Well, hit me with Universal Soldier. Let's just see what a Universal does.
That looks great too.
And then hit me with just my Color Boomify.
Color Boomify. Little harsh for my taste, but I know you're big on the contrast.
Yeah, it's all dependent upon what you like.
Yeah.
All right.
Oof.
Wolves.
Wolves.
Let's go dancing with them.
Dancing with wolves.
This one you could run through
Wow.
a bunch of them. Like Kensington, I love that, what you were just on.
Waffle House looks great.
I just love how that looks. Ooh,
Sandlot.
Silvertide.
I think Sandlot works pretty well on that too.
Yeah, this is one that a bunch of them work on. Hit
Yep.
me with this next one. And this is gonna be, hit me with the Color Boomify and Black and White Boomify.
Oh, yeah.
Just to show you what happens in
All
these
day.
concert situations. That is my style, and the thicker, the better in these, and they look really good that way.
That looks great. One click and done for sure. This one I chose because there's blues and greens in the image, and again, a lot of my presets were built off of specifically blues and greens. I'm gonna run through just the top real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Just notice the difference in the images, how the greens are turning a little more of the orange hue, especially with the no white balance acid wash. Then we've got more of like a teal green going on with aquamarine.
Yeah.
Hopefully you think of aquamarine and that's what you think of, is like a teal green look. And I'm just gonna run through the list. Faded Glory, again, more that forest green look. Kensington, Ovaltine, we got Color Boomify. Wow, Color Boomify looks great on here. This one I might actually choose.
Skittles?
Skittles?
Let's see what Skittles does with a lot of color.
Skittles looks pretty solid too.
Yeah.
Waffle House.
See,
Wow, look at Sandlot.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, if that's what you're going for.
Hey, if that's what you're going for.
All right, let's get to the last one.
Last one.
Hit me with Skittles on this bad boy.
Ooh.
What Skittles did to this was just awesome.
That looks great.
I'm sure Color Boomify would do well.
Color Boomify looks
Universal
solid too.
Soldier.
Yeah.
The Faded Glory. Give me some Faded Glory on this.
Faded Glory. Ooh, that
So
looks pretty good too.
Again, you don't know what's going to happen. It's such a, these presets give you such a great starting point. So, like I said, we had thousands of these images come in. We wanted to not make this the longest video in the world, but we pretty much wanted to show you how these presets would work on a lot of different images taken with the different cameras to just show you how it gives you a great starting point and saves you a ton of time. So let's jump back to the website again. If you would like to purchase these, go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets. You can see that they're 40% off. They're going to be available for sale from here on out. Now, somebody did ask me, will they be on sale for Black Friday? And the answer is no, they're already on sale. So go ahead and take advantage of that at FroKnowsPhoto.com/presets. If you do go ahead and pick them up before November 12th at 11:59 p.m., you will be entered to win the $1,000 prize pack of goodies. Yeah, and if you already purchased them, you're already entered. So, Steven, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you did a fantastic job tweaking and making a lot of unique presets.
They came out really nice.
There's so many different options, so many different presets. They save you time. They give you a great starting point, and it's going to help you find your editing style when you can get a great starting point here and then tweak from there. So I want to thank you guys again for your continued support. Without you supporting stuff like this, we wouldn't be able to make the free content that we're making. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.